Hello.
Hi,
Hi. How's it
how are
going?
you? Oh my
I'm
God,
doing
I
good.
love that. Wait, what are you sitting in?
I got because I think that today should still be fun, even though we're all not together as we wish we could be. So I got something special to
Oh my
just
God.
keep us
At first, I
entertained.
thought that was like an avatar. I wasn't sure if that was actually you. And I was like, wait a minute.
Oh no,
My
that's me.
name is
That's not one
Kayla.
of those
Nice to meet
backgrounds.
you.
Good to see you. You look gorge.
Oh, thank you. Are you ready to get
Yes.
started?
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. All right, Miley Cyrus is here, everyone. Thank you so much for coming on to Pop Crush Nights. You have been giving interviewers a run for their money during quarantine with your Instagram live talk show, Bright Minded.
Yes, you know what? I think one of the craziest things that y'all really have to do is there's just so much research that
Yes.
goes into it. Like it's like being in school, like having constant homework. You don't want someone to get on your show and not know what's been going on with them, but you also don't want to know too much that you seem weird.
Like you seem stalkerish,
Yeah,
but you
yeah,
have to do
yeah.
constant research. You have to know their background, their mom, their dad, their hometown where they were born, everything.
Oh yeah, I had to know everything, but was still like allowing them to have something to tell.
But I thought it was amazing how you did it. And you did it in such a natural way. Like you were a complete natural. The way people opened up to you was just amazing. And it was a way for you to connect with your fans during quarantine. And you
I
kind of
think
like,
people I think people felt a sense of safety with me also because they knew that I've been in this seat. I've been on the other side. That it wouldn't
yeah,
feel like I was ever trying to get them to say something they wouldn't be proud of or talk about things that they want to be kept private. Because I've been on this side, there's like a sense of respect that I have towards whoever I'm interviewing.
exactly. And I think fans loved it the most because, you bridge the gap between fans and the artists and celebrities that they love. And especially in a time where we kind of needed it. We definitely
Yeah,
needed it.
it allowed me to be a fan also, which feels good because a lot of the times our community, we are always like, there's events and there's our award shows. I just did VMAs. That'd be a place where you would kind of get that validation from your community, like love the new song, love the new video. And
Right.
that really makes an artist feel getting that respect from your own community. Like it just means so much. And so not having that, it's a good neck with like
Yeah.
my peers.
Well, speaking of the VMAs, congratulations on your latest single, Midnight Sky is out now. Just
Thank
performed
you.
at the VMAs. Girl, when you came out with the Wrecking Ball, I was shook.
Yes. Yes. It was really it was really fan inspired. My fans started making these edits on Instagram of me riding a disco ball rather than a wrecking ball. And I'm like, I know they would just freak out if I could make that a reality. The internet is the birthplace of the craziest and greatest ideas. Like
Yep.
everything can happen on the internet now. And so my fans created these amazing edits and it just inspired me to make it a reality.
We are glad you did. We are glad you did.
Thank
Uh,
you.
so, this is the first single off your upcoming album. She is Miley Cyrus. So, I got to ask you, who is Miley Cyrus?
I think right now it's so not a concrete idea. Like I'm just feeling so fluid right now. And I've always felt very sure before and had a really strong, kind of unmoving sense of self. And I just don't really have that right now. I have like so much fluidity to my identity that I'm just figuring it out and learning and taking this period for what it is, the self-reflection, the, demand to really like kind of go inwards. I think my whole life I've been such an extrovert that I haven't taken this time to like really kind of dive in. And I'm just learning a lot about myself every single day. What I
Yeah.
like and what I don't, and what I want to work on and what I'm proud of, qualities of myself that I love about myself and qualities that I want to polish or throw out completely.
What are some of the qualities that you absolutely love about yourself that you found recently during this pandemic that you didn't even know you loved?
My quality that I love about myself is I protect my loved ones, like their it's just my loved ones, my family, my friends, my dedication to our relationships and like my sense of um just I really want to protect them. They're the most invaluable elements of my life, but I can protect people at a cost that sometimes I lose myself, and that's something that I don't like. I can
Yeah.
put so much value in my relationships that I erase that value towards myself, or I'll trade one for the other, you know? And that's why RuPaul is like God to me. It's like, if you can't love yourself, how are you going to love anybody else? I really had to work on that. That self-love is loving others, because when you have a good relationship with your own self, you don't, I think there's also, I love right now that I don't really feel like I have anything to prove, because I feel very secure. And sometimes that can create bad habits of like, we get touchy about certain things or fire off about certain things because of an insecurity that we haven't dealt with. So I'm like going through all those and knowing what's mine, what I want to keep, and what doesn't serve me anymore.
Well, you know, when people say Miley Cyrus, I don't like, and I'm sure you don't like either, when people are like, this is the new Miley. And I think, well, no, this is the real Miley that we're seeing. Sorry, she's not, you know, in a blonde wig singing Best of Both Worlds anymore.
Yeah.
But I think who you're showing us now is what's always been there, who you've always been. Am
Yeah.
I
And that
correct?
was really, well, that's really what like Hannah was really about too. It was like, wanting to create, and I, you know, she wanted to create an identity for herself. And I, again, like I said, kind of get lost in that sometimes. So again, it's easy to get lost in that character, especially when that character comes with so much success and a lot of pressure. And so now finding a sense of my own identity and being able to also kind of like resurrect some music that some of my fans may not even be familiar with, like Edge of 17, Debbie Harry, Joan Jett, Pat Benatar, you know, with influences of Nine Inch Nails or Chris Cornell, but still, you know, being able to nod towards Britney Spears and Christina. Like, it's just, it's
Right.
being able to just honor every style of music and um, not have to identify each one again at such a concrete level.
Well, do you think that in the beginning you were kind of forced into that pop genre because of your Hannah Montana era? Because now you are steering away from that.
I think that there was, you know, an idea that I was like, I don't know, maybe not self created, that it was formulaic, which is why I really wanted to do why I want to do Black Mirror, because of the way that it's about that kind of, you know, the creation of like a pop star. And I think I've tried to um, kind of make it about, you know, pop music used to be short for just popular. Like, it was just, it didn't have to do with a formula, a structure of a song. It was Bowie, Rolling Stone, the Beatles. I mean, those were big pop hits. And so just kind of taking some of that power back of what it means to be a pop artist.
Yeah. So, Midnight Sky, um, what is the message that you are trying to convey with this song?
I think detachment to forever, and allowing that, you know, I think that causes a lot of fear and anxiety when something that you thought would last forever comes to an end. You feel like a sense of failure. And I think now I'm being able to kind of just take my narrative back into my own hands and kind of talk about, I guess, the last 2 years of my life, but not just about where I've been, but where I'm really going and where I see myself headed. And I just love the kind of visual of the midnight sky. It's almost like taking the high road, but it's like
Yeah.
creating your own path.
I love that. And I have noticed that you are taking your own narrative. You yourself are coming out and saying, no, like this is what happened. I'm going to tell you what it is. Forget what the press and the blogs are saying. So why was it so important for you to get your narrative out there?
I think, you know, a lot of the time, you know, when a relationship ends, especially in a public way like that, that there's always got to be a villain, that it's more like like fun and entertaining to follow. If there's a good and a bad guy, there gives dynamic, but that's just not always the way that it is. Sometimes like things come to an end. Summer will, fall will, spring will, and you'll move on to the next season. It's all going to come to an end. That doesn't mean that something is wrong with the season previous, because you've got to move on to the next one. You know, I think that's really we've got to get more comfortable with things ending and knowing that when things end, new things begin. And that's the cycle of life. That's what we're all, that's how we're here.
Yeah. So I've noticed that within the past year, you have gone through a lot of personal changes. You have stopped drinking, you stopped smoking. I heard you stopped being vegan. Why all the changes?
I think again, it's trial and error. It's like experimentation. And I think, again, that comes with, a lot of opinions, but you've gotta live for what's personally going to be best for you and try to not think about the outside sources. And, my dad always talked to me. He wrote down for me one time, don't think outside of the box, think like there isn't one. Because if you're thinking about the box at all, then you always feel like a sense of, am I going too far? Have I I feel like it gives you a sense of, again, just like that fear. And I really want to live fearlessly of trial and error and not be afraid that when there is error, when there is failure, the greatest key to success is failure. My dad also says, when you eliminate that way that doesn't work, you're a step closer to the way that's going to work.
Billy Ray Cyrus is a wise man.
Always, you got all the sayings.
I look at you and you are so fearless. You are the definition of someone who doesn't care what other people think about them. So my question to you is, for someone or to women who have been told, like myself actually, that they're too much. And I don't know if you've been told that before, but I'm sure a lot of us have. What do you say to the women who have been told that they are just too much? And in return, they kind of dim their light.
You are like, I can't even deal with that. You are so enough. And like, honestly, I totally know what you mean by dimming the light. Like, there are some times where even if you look back, at a time where you didn't really know how lost you actually were, and you're like, I don't even see me. Like, there's something different in your eyes and your spark and like that aura that we all radiate. And I think, know that, again, like, you are enough. And I think that's something I really kind of had to come to terms with this year, especially now, like being single in a pandemic, living alone, a lot of time to like go in and reflect, and it can be terrifying. But if you can sit in the discomfort of it a little bit and not reach for those outside sources of just, I really haven't really been single since like 5 years. And especially now, having so much time to kind of focus on that, of obsess over it. But if you could turn it around and go, okay, I have time to really like know who I am, know what I'm looking for, know what I want, know what I don't. I would just say right now is a really reflective period. And I think all of us are going to come out. That's why I use the disco balls, as broken as it all feels, when you get put back together again, that wholeness is just totally mesmerizing.
I 100% agree. Like, I remember me personally going through a breakup, and that time by yourself really, really changes you. You take the time to do the things that you've always wanted to do, and you just really find a whole nother side of yourself. And
Yes.
I'm sure you're really excited to find that or experiment with that whole new side as well.
Yes, and that happening, for anyone out there going through it during this pandemic, I totally feel you, the kind of
Hard.
anxiety that it brings, because like there's just so much alone time. And I think, obviously, I fill my time. I love animals. I think that, being able to like have my dogs, I always feel like a sense of that they're there. But even without that, it's just, feeling, your positive habits like become these rituals. They become who you are. And I think that all of us will be so much better after this, knowing that we've been able to go inside and get rid of what is no longer ours and no longer serves us.
What can we expect in your new album?
Again, there's so much pressure with the first single, because that's kind of always what's telling people what the body of work is kind of leaning towards. But I feel like there's just so much diversity in the record. And again, there's as modern as Dua Lipa, but also Billy Idol. So I feel like that like
Okay.
sums it up.
Well, we're looking forward to it. And maybe one day you could even do your own talk show or maybe a podcast.
Love it.
That could be a
Love
thing.
it. Yes, for sure. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Miley.
Bye.